Devil is a lie, looking for the prize. That's eternal life, and bringing the change in my mind. Talking real peace of mind.
What's up, YouTube fam? It's your boy KingMarcell, and we are back with another video. Today we are about to check out a video that's about the connection between Diddy and Epstein. Now again, here on this channel, I wanted it to be a main focus to expose the trafficking element that's going on behind the scenes, behind politics, behind any entertainment industry, whether it's music, any form of media, on the radio. This market is literally bigger than the drug market, than any other market that's on this earth, and it's being hidden. And I feel like the people, the cults, the government officials, and people who have been enabling this to happen are being exposed, and this is the age of truth. And this is going to be a hard pill to swallow for a lot of people, that these things have been going on, and not only that these things have been going on, but that a lot of people that we have been idolizing and have been thinking that we should be striving to be are the people who have been perpetuating these things to other people, and not just other people, but unfortunately children as well. So we're about to get into this video that's going to explain the Diddy Epstein connection, and everything that's just going on with the Diddy case has been just insane. And again, I just think we are still at the surface level of that. So prepared to, you know what I'm saying, have your mouths wide open for a lot of the stuff. No Diddy, you know what I'm saying, but for a lot of the stuff that's finna come out. But make sure you guys hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and hit that notification bell so that you're notified whenever we do drop a video here. We on the road to 500 subscribers, so make sure you guys are summing up. We less than 100 away, so you know what I'm saying, make sure you guys join the kingdom. But with that being said, let's get into this.
I think it's time to start freaking out about what we don't know about this Diddy situation. You know, you don't get the full story on Epstein. It is much more provocative to say someone killed him.
Yeah.
What do a Wall Street billionaire and a hip-hop billionaire have in common? Well, everything, except the world just hasn't accepted it yet. Jeffrey Epstein died before he could talk. Sean Diddy Combs? Well, he might not get that same exit.
Right.
What's coming down is bigger than one man. It's a system that's been protecting predators for decades.
Yeah.
They ran in the same elite circles. They exploited people the same way. They thrived off silence, blackmail, and influence.
Yeah.
Jeffrey Epstein and Diddy weren't just celebrities. They were allegedly the architects of sex-fueled power operations. If Epstein was Wall Street's secret, it looks like Diddy might have been Hollywood's open secret.
Exactly.
And the overlap between these two cases will leave your jaw on the floor.
I don't think we've ever seen anything like this. I've been trying to get my hands around it, and I've never had a situation where we've got the big name. Sean, Diddy, whatever. I know he's changed his nickname like a million times, but I kind of know why. This guy's been in the reinvention of badness business for a really long time, evidently. So if we have him, why does it seem that the story is still much bigger? Now, at first, I wrote it off as the boogeyman principle, like with Epstein. You know, you don't get the full story on Epstein. It is much more provocative to say someone killed him because of exactly what I'm talking about with Diddy, that there had to be more, right? Because remember what the commodity is.
Jeffrey Epstein's timeline spans decades, grooming young girls, flying politicians, hosting parties that weren't really parties at all. He was first convicted in 2008, but got a sweetheart deal that let him leave jail for 12 hours a day.
Where they do that at?
Names we
think about how powerful you gotta be. That I think he had hella accusers come out that first time. Who the fuck can work out a deal where you get out of jail 12 hours a day in your sentence? Are you kidding? Like, what? Where? How? That alone should have shown the scope and span of the power that he has behind this blackmailing network of this trafficking. Damn near everybody that's put in front of us, I tell y'all, they are political actors, not just the actors we see on TV. They are actors and stuff too. These music industry people and all of these are people who are acting like they are taking our thought process away from what's actually going on in the world. So to me, they're all actors. But there's a thing called a political actor. And I feel like there are way more political actors than we choose to accept. I feel like majority of the people who are in front of us that are faking as politicians aren't truly politicians. And that they are just actors in front of us, giving us a show where when there are other people behind the scenes that are running the show. And that element has to be exposed. And it is being exposed. But again, what I try to stress to y'all and what she's trying to stress to y'all, don't just keep it on Diddy. Diddy ain't the mastermind behind all of this shit that's going on. Him blackmailing people and all that. They talking about the baby oil and they trying to keep it on that. No, it's a deeper element. It all ties back to this Epstein stuff and who Epstein works for. Who do these people work for? Diddy did a lot of lobbying for the Democrats. So that's a thread, right? That's a part of this thread too. I think that just came up in one of the at the trial that one of Diddy's main people that he talked to, politicians that he talked to, is Obama. So Diddy has a ex-president in his back pocket. Imagine what you could do, what you could get away with that call. Like, imagine that. I really want y'all to imagine that. And to understand these things aren't separated. Diddy and Epstein aren't separated. Like she said, they all move together in the same ties and connections. They have the same friend groups. So where are these other friends? Who are these other friends?
Still don't.
When that Epstein list gonna get released?
Know. Sean Diddy Combs' case exploded in 2024 and 2025, but victims say it's been going on since the late 90s. Allegations include coercion, forced drug use, sex filming, sex acts, and threats of violence. Federal investigators claim his entire empire, Bad Boy Records, clothing brands, parties, were part of a machine that controlled women and fueled by fear and money. Epstein was charged with sex trafficking minors. Combs is being hit with RICO, a racketeering conspiracy charge. But why RICO? Because prosecutors allege his crimes weren't isolated. Exactly. They were part of an organized operation, just like Epstein, just like Ghislaine Maxwell. Both men are accused of using their wealth, not just to silence, but to recruit. There's recruiters, assistants, drivers, security, a system designed to trap victims in plain sight. Legal experts call this horizontal power coercion, not just physical abuse, but systematic, ongoing psychological warfare.
The commodity is as old as society, which is they, the power brokers, the establishment, the elite, whatever you want to call them. They used to be called the bourgeoisie, okay? Every society has gone through this, that there are people in power that you don't know about that have the hand of influence that makes everything happen, that fucks you over, that is this world that you don't know, but you're greatly influenced by. It's always worked. It's always worked. And it has always been true to varying degrees, but almost always with a principle of mitigation beyond what you're being sold. And we are there again. And it reminds me of Harvey Weinstein in a way, but more troubling on a level.
The enablers. They're different faces, but the same role. Ghislaine Maxwell wasn't just Epstein's girlfriend. She was a business partner in trafficking. She booked flights, recruited girls, and kept records. She made the system fully function. Now with Diddy, the names aren't well known yet, but the role, eerily similar. Victims say his bodyguards acted as intimidation. Assistants cleaned up after parties. Attorneys shut down whistleblowers. Even his own son, Justin Combs, is named in multiple lawsuits for allegedly attending or facilitating events. Music producers, DJs,
and doing it himself.
Staff, dozens allegedly witnessed events and stayed silent.
Discover true beauty from around the world.
That's the craziest part of it all. Is that they again, most of the celebrities that we see on TV have at least one time or another went to one of these parties. Rather they knew what was going on or not at the party before they went, you know what I'm saying? We can't blame them for that. At least from understanding what's going on with Diddy. But they've all have seen something and not said anything. Do that make them just as guilty? Because I don't respect that. Y'all knew what was going on. It's people who knew what was going on. And it's the fact, it's people like me who've been knowing what was going on and tell people what's been going on. And we've been looking like nuts and just conspiracy theorists all these years. But now that everything is coming out, these people that's been silent, y'all think y'all gonna, like, what y'all think gonna happen to y'all? If y'all think y'all, like, keeping silent is the way to go. Because we gonna find out who went to these parties one way or another. We peeping the ties and the connections. Now, whether y'all, it comes out in the public, I mean, in court is one thing, but my thing is that people aren't stupid. We know y'all all used to run together. I heard Beyonce tour ain't doing too good too on sales. That's the first. But that's because the veil is lifted. No one's falling for the okie doke no more. Y'all aren't idols anymore. Your power has been stripped away. Literally. But they think they're going to ride the bus until the wheels fall off.
You know, the world will not be the same without her. It just won't be.
It's hard. It's really hard being back here. It should be ripped down. It should be burned.
She's dead.
She put Epstein in prison.
Crazy.
She put Maxwell in prison.
This is a real photo.
She had Prince Andrew stripped of his titles. Her words, her actions started a movement of change.
Yeah.
Sunday on 60 Minutes, brave Virginia Giuffre's legacy.
I think that while Virginia could face many demons and many villains, that moment was more than she could handle.
Then there's the hidden cameras and blackmail loops. In Epstein's case, federal agents discovered hidden camera setups in his Manhattan mansion. Every room, every hallway, eyes were everywhere. Why? Leverage, protection, blackmail. He didn't just host elites, he owned them. They knew he had dirt, and that is what made him so powerful. Now, flip to Combs. Victims say his freak-offs were recorded, sometimes secretly, sometimes with the victim unaware. One woman claims he threatened to leak footage unless she kept quiet. Another says he used tapes to intimidate other celebrities. If true, this isn't just a celebrity scandal. This is a surveillance-based extortion, a criminal enterprise.
Epstein.
And at what point do we not think that this is CIA? Then Kanye called this nigga a fed. At what point we don't link this back to this is an intelligence operation to keep these celebrities in check? In fact, look into who really funded and created Hollywood. It was the CIA who run Hollywood at this extent right now. Look it up. I'm not talking out my ass.
Epstein.
These
Diddy.
is facts.
What is the common thread? People with power through access, wealth, which helps connect to power, who are able to do shit that we find not only frightening and disgusting and illegal, but perverse. And the perversity matters. Weinstein is not just allegedly another rapist, but it was a culture. You know, the casting couch, you know, we've all heard of that.
Yeah.
This is what makes that boogeyman so real. And there are two added layers. One is, and everybody knows, and there are a lot of people that you know and care about, but they've never told you, right? And then there is this And it's always been okay until now, right? Those are the ingredients: Epstein, Weinstein, and now Diddy.
Now, then there's the witness testimony. It's an industry open secret. Lisa Phillips, an Epstein accuser, said his abuse was invisible, designed to be hidden. But with Diddy, the abuse was allegedly the opposite, out loud, out in the open. Multiple insiders say Diddy's parties were filled with underage girls, drug use, and ritual performances. One accuser said celebrities looked the other way and were
that's what I'm talking about.
Events. Why didn't they speak out?
Right.
Because Combs controlled everything: security, money, careers. Speak out and you vanish from the industry, permanently blackballed.
So
Lisa Phillips is joining me now. She is the star and the host of a podcast from now on. And it's a real honor to speak with you, Miss Phillips. How did you meet, if that's the right word, Jeffrey Epstein?
So I was on a photo shoot in early 2000 at the island of Tortola in the British West Indies, very close to his island. And we had a free day, and another young blonde.
Caution.
Like what?
With the free night in Canada.
Like, think about the territories that they are saying he's in. These are territories that's being ran by monarchs, and he was able to reign free doing all of this stuff. It's just crazy to me, man. Well,
Tortola,
money and access and power and who you know it gets you.
And another young blonde Polish model who looks like Virginia said, you know, I have a friend who owns an island. He's been so wonderful to me. He got me my visa to live in the United States. And so she just said, you know, let's go for the day. And so I just said, okay, sure, I'll go with you. And so I went over to the island, and I saw two young blonde girls swimming in the pool with an older gentleman, dark-haired gentleman. And then later on, we all had dinner together. We hung out for the day. And later on that evening, a young blonde girl knocked on my door and told myself and the other blonde girl that Jeffrey needed a massage. Or Jeffrey, actually, she said, Jeffrey is ready for his massage.
Fox News, Newsweek, and Daily Mail
what?
have all drawn lines between the two cases. Phrases like the House of Cards and Freak Off Empire dominate headlines. But here's the deeper question. Why now? Why did Epstein only get taken down after decades of public rumors? Why is Combs only been prosecuted after a dozen lawsuits?
Yes, that's a good question.
And NDA payouts.
What she got to say?
Decades, just like Epstein.
Right.
The answer is chilling, because they were useful until they weren't to the right powerful people. Somehow they got in the bad graces and they were the ones thrown under the bus. But you have to know, they were not the head of the dragon, the head of the snake.
Thank you.
There is a much deeper connected network behind the scenes of both Epstein and Diddy.
Now they saying that Epstein was probably a part of the Mossad. Look into who the Mossad is. The Mossad is Israel Special Forces. So they saying that he was basically Israel version of the CIA, working in tandem with our CIA program that's working with and blackmailing our celebrities. This is all going back to a particular people that if I say who they are, you know what I'm saying? They come after you. You know what I'm saying? They block your channel. But we all know who they are. They the ones who pretending to be me. Who the real people are. And they think that they're gonna continue on with this deception and wickedness that they doing in the name of my people. Well, it's all being exposed. And it's the fact that even though it's all being exposed, they are keeping on and digging a very deep hole for themselves. But we just gonna see how all of this plays out.
Yeah. Is this a conspiracy or a coincidence?
Is it?
Let's talk Rachel Chandler, accused of being Epstein's recruiter, connected to Clinton, yes, to royalty, and to Diddy. She was photographed with Diddy at least twice in the 2000s. Coincidence? Maybe. But conspiracy theorists online say Chandler was the bridge between Epstein's world and Diddy's. Then there's Naomi Campbell, named in Epstein's files, close to Diddy in the early 2000s.
Right.
Again, no smoking gun, but the pattern of overlapping elites is undeniable. Now, are they guilty by association? No. But these aren't random friendships. And the moment you connect one dot too many, the whole system collapses.
And so I just was like, what are you talking about? What massage? And so the other girl said, oh, well, Jeffrey likes, massages. You have to do it. So, I was trapped on the island. I didn't know where to go. I just, followed the girl into his room to do the massage with this other young girl. And I ended up being abused on that island.
Lisa, when you say you were abused, what happened?
Well, like Virginia was explaining, the massages. So the massages turn into, touching and into assault.
Were you sex molested, Lisa, by Jeffrey Epstein?
Yes, I was.
Here's the cycle. Powerful man rises fast. He's protected by media.
Well, why would you go on an island with a chick you barely know, and onto the island with on the island you don't even know? Like, that's, come on, if that ain't set up, if that's not a red flag and sirens should be going off your head to not ever deal with shorty again and ever have a conversation after that one you had with her. And now everybody, I don't know, people be tripping. They just think life is I could never get hurt, and so many people go missing that way. Luckily, she here and she able to tell her story.
Political allies, allegations surface, the public shrugs, victims get paid, lawsuits get sealed, until it gets too big to bury. That's Epstein. That's Weinstein. That's now Diddy.
Does it ever?
That was R. Kelly.
Lynn, does it ever end? Lynn is the founder, director of Lynn's Warriors, committed to ending human trafficking and exploitation of girls. Host of Lynn's Warriors on YouTube. Does it ever end? When I hear Lisa and I look at her, she's so beautiful, so articulate, so poised. I mean, Lisa, has your life ever been the same? I mean, mine hasn't been the same since I was a victim of violent crime. It's never been the same. What did that do to you?
You can see I still get emotional, but I kept it silent for 15 years.
So what's next? If Diddy's trial moves forward and witnesses testify, this could break open like Epstein's case did. The question isn't just, did he do it? It's who helped him and who knew about it. Because if even
that's what I want to know. That's what we also want to know.
This reaches deeper into the entertainment industry than anyone's ready to admit.
Yeah.
It wasn't until Jeffrey died in 2019 and I saw Virginia speak out. I thought, wow, this is a courageous woman. Wow, she has like this bravery to speak out about, what happened to her with Jeffrey. But it was her story about Prince Andrew was the reason why I spoke out. Because I had a young friend, also blonde, similar to Virginia's look, who was told by Jeffrey to go into a room to have sex with the prince. And that memory I always remembered, because when I met Jeffrey for the very first time on the island, I remembered seeing that man there.
Why did no one tell Indiana drivers about this new rule?
So the prince was there doing that test. So he just staying at there. Was he the dude in the pool you saying earlier?
So
what
my story connected in that way.
Andrew?
What we're looking at isn't just a celebrity downfall. It's the exposure of a culture that's protected predators for profit.
Cults.
The music industry, like Hollywood.
And a lot of people don't understand that cult is short for culture. This is their culture. This is these people culture. It's this wicked ass lifestyle. It's crazy,
one that
man.
trades talent for silence. A side that creates stars but then also intimidates victims with NDAs and
These are witches and warlocks.
Epstein weaponized his wealth to control the elite. Diddy, if the allegations are true, weaponized his celebrity to do the same. And if we keep ignoring the signs, there will always be another Epstein, another Diddy, another generation of victims.
Yes, Jeffrey introduced me to
It's
Prince
so
Andrew.
disgusting. And he's like a tick, sucking the public's money, living in a mansion. And I'm telling you, this girl's battle, now woman, Virginia Giuffre's battle with Epstein and Prince Andrew, she vowed not to give up ever. And I'm supposed to believe that she said, oh yeah, you know what? I won the battle against Andrew. Epstein's dead, so now I'll kill myself. I find that really hard to believe.
Let's wrap this up. Jeffrey Epstein, a secret predator with a blackmail network. Sean Diddy Combs, an alleged predator with a public platform and private recordings. Both surrounded by enablers, both protected for years, both allegedly use power to exploit. This isn't conspiracy. It's corruption. And the more light they shine, the more they scramble. So if you are sick of watching these elites walk free, if you want more truth, more exposure, more accountability, make sure you hit that like button, subscribe, and comment your thoughts. Because this isn't the end. This is the start of pulling the entire thread.
And that's the main thing. Oh, I mess with her. Go subscribe to her channel, man, because that, like, and we're gonna be reacting to a lot more of her videos, because this topic can't go away. We can't not keep this spotlight on these roaches and watch them scatter. We got to keep shining it on them. We got to vanquish this evil that's been perpetuating and controlling our lives. Because as soon as this element is out the way, we can really get to living life. Like y'all know, like, come on, y'all think we supposed to just be going to work for these people, making these other people rich as hell, while we struggling, barely able to spend time with our own families? And y'all think this is the way life was supposed to be? Was this somebody's matrix that they have us all in so that they can extrapolate all of our energy and all of our time to further their agendas? And that shit has to come to an end. I want each and every one of y'all to have a chance to make y'all dream come true. But as long as these people are in our way, it won't happen. So unfortunately, we have to do something about this. It's not unfortunate. We gotta grow some nuts and do something about it. We gotta at least talk about it. We start there. But something is going to have to be done. But again, we are about to get into a lot more of these videos. Go and subscribe to her channel. Make sure you guys hit the like button over here. Make sure you guys subscribe over here as well. We on the road to 500 subscribers, so make sure you guys are subbing up. We almost there. I want to leave y'all on this. We can overcome this evil together. We just got to work together. But with that being said, KingMarcell out. Peace.